My name is Morgan Cox. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm chair of HRC's Board of Directors. I work closely with our teams executing our electoral and political strategies to ensure that LGBTQ plus Americans have the same rights as everyone else. HRC's political impact has been at the forefront of the fight for equality for decades, and there's no sign of it letting up. I live here in Texas, in Dallas, where my fiance Darrell and I are raising our 2 children, Marco and Lockett, and it is terrifying to know that discrimination and bigotry is alive and well, and that elected officials like Greg Abbott have both the desire and the power to change what the future looks like for all of our families. Hateful bills are spreading across state legislatures that are trying to erase our families. We have a lot of work to do to ensure the full liberation of all LGBTQ plus people.
You can do it.
Just every time I think of Greg Abbott, it just really pisses me off.
So what do we do? Yes.
Jody,
Yes.
if there were just someone who could take that man down. We have a majority. We know we have a majority here in Texas to win this election. The votes are here. We just have to do the work. We have it here. We have the power to be here, the change we wanted to see in our beautiful state. We in this room tonight have what it takes to be a part of something much bigger than ourselves, to be a part of a movement that fights against bigotry, hatred, and division. We have the power to send Greg Abbott home. We have the power to elect our friend, a true champion of the LGBTQ plus community, a true champion of all people living life in the margins, a person who will be the governor of all Texans. Get on your feet, Houston. Let's give it up for the next governor of the great state of Texas, Beto O'Rourke.
Hey, thank you. Jody and Morgan, thank you. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for the example that you set for all of us. Whether you're in Brooklyn, whether you're right here in Houston, Texas, this is what we are all about, all of us. I got to tell you, just sitting right next to Morgan and Jody during dinner and these amazing speakers who preceded us, so many of you came up to say hello and to say thank you or to encourage us or to take a picture, which I hope you will post on social media and share with your friends so that everyone knows that we are here tonight. Obviously, we need the votes to win this. We need the volunteers who will knock on the doors, who will connect with those voters, who will decide the outcome of this election. We need people who are going to contribute and make donations so that we have the resources to reach everyone in Texas. But the kindness and the love and the energy and the power that we feel here in this room tonight, I gotta tell you, it is exactly what I need, what we need in this campaign. And it is a reminder of why we are doing this work and what we will be able to accomplish when we win. Because there are some really dark things happening in the state of Texas right now. I know those of you who are from Texas feel embarrassed sometimes when we hear from our friends and relatives in other parts of the state who are reading about us for all of the wrong reasons. This crazed fixation that our governor, the most powerful man in the state of Texas, has about transgender children and their parents, trying to criminalize them and rip those kids away from the most loving parents that I have ever met across my travels in Texas, helping their kids negotiate one of the most challenging times in their lives. And he's doing this while we have a real crisis in CPS where there are 30,000 kids in the foster care system. And that agency is so underfunded and so poorly led by this governor that tonight, as we are enjoying ourselves here in Houston, many of those kids are sleeping in the hallways or under desks Some of them are trafficked for their bodies while they're in private care, since we've privatized care in the state of Texas. And more than 100 of them have lost their lives in the custody of the state of Texas just over the last year. And Greg Abbott is focused on the parents of transgender kids. We also know that reproductive health care rights are not just under attack, they've been effectively canceled by this governor. And not only is it hard now for anyone to seek an abortion in the state of Texas, but try getting a cervical cancer screening or reproductive health care help or seeing a doctor at all in the least insured state in the United States of America. There are real challenges and problems when it comes to health care in Texas, but denying people their right to an abortion is not one of them. And then in this great democracy that so many have given their lives to protect and defend, Greg Abbott has made this the toughest state in the union in which to cast your ballot or register to vote or participate in our politics. And speaking of darkness, in the energy capital of the world, right here in Houston, Texas, the governor literally could not keep the lights on a year ago, could not keep the heat running, could not keep the water flowing, could not keep the people of Texas alive. But as Morgan just said, that may represent Greg Abbott, and it may represent the majority that we have in the state legislature today. But that does not reflect or represent those of us who live in Texas, not the majority of us in this state, and not the majority of voters in this state. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to win this election on the 8th of November, and we're going to get the state of Texas on the right track. And we're going to do it by following your lead. I've been so impressed by what HRC has done, organizing marriage equality voters, organizing the business community here in the state of Texas, organizing at the state legislative level. So many national organizations focus on Congress and the presidency. And yes, those things are important, but as we know all too well in the state of Texas, the real danger and the real opportunity is found in the State House. And that's where HRC has been organizing its volunteers day in, day out, when the legislature's in session and when they're out of session as well. We're also going to follow the lead of these extraordinary parents of transgender children whom I've met in the state capitol, who patiently and gracefully drive themselves and their kids from Corpus Christi or Brownsville or El Paso or Tarrant County down to the Capitol to testify in front of those who would harm their children and strip away their rights and make it more dangerous literally for them to live in this state. You have met this cruelty with your power, with your fortitude, with the courage of your convictions, and that's exactly how we are running this campaign. I promise you, if each one of us is willing to do our part, to stand up for one another, by and with each other right here in the state of Texas, to knock on the doors, those who find themselves under attack right now, those voters who've been effectively disenfranchised from participating in this election, but for our willingness to reach out to them and bring them into this democracy. If we are willing to do this right now, I promise you that not only will we win, but we will be able to elevate this majority to make sure that once in power, we not only defend against these attacks coming at the LGBTQ plus community and transgender kids, but that we elevate them and make sure that we are proud of everyone who lives in this state, that we remind the world that Texas is big enough for all of us, big enough for our dreams, and big enough for everybody who wants to do the work to make it come true. We're going to make sure that every Texan makes their own reproductive health care decisions about their lives and their future and about their health care. We're going to defend those teachers who should not have to worry about those in power telling them what they can and cannot teach so they can focus on the kids in front of them. And we're going to make sure that this great state realizes its full potential and promise, and we do it by capturing the same energy that you have produced through these campaigns with HRC. I am so grateful to be endorsed by you, so grateful to be with you right now, and I am so looking forward to celebrating this victory on the night of November 8th, 2022. Let's go out there, win this race, get Texas on the right track, and show the rest of the world just who we are at our best. Gracias. Thank you all so much. Have a great night, and thank you for having us here. Adios. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Thank you.